Good evening, everyone. My name is Ritika Tyagi. I'm the founder of Learning Jar. Welcome to another session with Learning Jar. We all know investing can be a daunting task, but it is an essential step towards securing your financial future. With today's session, we hope to provide you with some valuable insights and guidance on how to make informed investment decisions. We are privileged to have with us Ms. Pallavi Gandhi, who is an expert in the field of finance and investments. She's going to share her insights on investment options in India. So, without further ado, let's welcome Ms. Pallavi Gandhi on the stage. And thank you for joining us today, Ms. Pallavi.
Thank you, Ritika. Thank you so much.
So, she's going to share her expertise on investment. What is investment? What are the best investment options which are available in India? I would request all our audience to tell us from where they are joining, what are the questions that they have in mind. So, feel free to write in the chat box. So, let's not waste any more second. Pallavi, ma'am, the stage is all yours.
Thank you so much, Ritika. Let's start with investing and the fundamentals of investment. Ritika, if you can help me with the screen share.
Yes, please.
So, the first question that comes to our mind is why investment important? So, let's understand what is the difference between savings and investment. So, typically, when I say savings, it means that I'm putting money into a piggy bank which is lying over there and not making wealth out of it. So, how do I do savings? I can do savings by putting into a saving account. I can put it in the form of cash, or I can, just keep that money at home as and when required. I will use it. But why is investment required? With the inflation rates that are going on at the rate of 6%, we definitely want our money to grow. If we look back, the value of money, every 10 years, the value of 100 rupees gets half. So typically, it means after 10 years, the value of 100 rupees would be 50. Do I want that 100 rupees to remain 100 or more than 100? Or do I want the money to become half? Now, how do I do it? So, if I want to make the money to grow above 100, I definitely need to invest my money. So now the investment helps me not only secure my future, it also helps me, keep the value of money, prepares me for any emergency, and also makes me understand that there are various investment options that are available in India. To start with, I would love people that, you start with three basic steps. Have your own savings bank account. It is always said that you should have two savings bank account. Why two savings bank account? It's because one saving bank account is the place where the money comes in. So let's understand what do I mean by money that comes in. When I say the money that comes in is always said the income part. So that is your income. So the saving bank account where the income drops in. The second account would be your expenses account. So typically you will be moving your money from your income account to the expenses account so that you know what is your right expenses. Understand your online banking and mobile banking. I think most of us do, have started using online banking and mobile banking, but still we are lagging behind on the features that are available on our mobile banking or online banking. So after this session, I want everybody to go and open one small FD or through your mobile banking and see how easily you can close that FD using your online platform. Third thing, have one online platform where you can start investing on. These three things will keep you prepared for any emergency or any investment needs that you have. I hope investment plan is very clear. But how do I start investing? Now, before you start investing, please understand the basic rule of budgeting. Now, there is a very nice rule called 50-30-20. Now, when I say 50-30-20, this rule is not typically applicable to Indians, but it's a nice rule which anybody can start with. Now, this rule was given by Elizabeth Warren, and she said that 50% of your amount should go to needs, 30% of your amount should go to wants, and 20% of your amount should go to at least your savings or clearance of debts. Now, what do you mean by needs? Needs are your food, clothing, house, and the basic requirements without which you cannot survive. I have a question over here, and do let me know in your comments. Would you keep your child's education into needs, or would you keep it into the wants? And where will you keep tuitions of your child, into needs or wants? Just put it on into the comments. Ritika will help me out with what people are telling through the session right now. Now, what do I mean by wants? Wants are something which you require, but without that you can survive. So, nice way, right, to understand that I may require, but I can survive with that. That is called wants. Now, we will divide these wants into things like things which I love, things which I like. Now, when I say like, it means it's something which gives me a satisfaction, but it gives me a temporary kind of satisfaction. When I say I love it, it gives me the pure bliss, it gives me the experience that I wanted. So, when it comes to wants, divide your wants into likes and love and choose the most loved want that you really want to go with. Now, when I say 20% should go to savings or debt clearance, for any beginner or any investor, 20% is the amount that typically should go to your savings, and please do it. Just look into it. What is the amount that you are saving every month? If you are not saving 20%, please understand that you have exceeded your monthly budget limits. So please start doing it. Now, when it comes to needs and wants, please understand your need will not be my need. It can be a want for me. For example, let's take a car. I buy a car, but I do travel using bus. I do travel through, metro or any of the public transport that is available. But for you, car may be a need because you have a lot of things dependent upon car. You're dropping your kid to school using your car, you're going to office with your car, there's no public transport accessibility to you. So there the car is a need for you. So your need is not my need, it can be a want, right? I can see that social saying it can be an essential rather want. Yes, the education you will put it into the need. Tuitions depending upon, again here the tuitions can come into a need, it can come into a want also. Maybe the child may not be requiring it, but since you feel that it is a requirement which he or she should do it, can you can put it into a want. Okay. Now, when I say needs and when I say the word called budgeting, how do you budget? How do you start with budget? So typically you should start with understanding your recurring expenses and your non-recurring expenses. So what are the examples of recurring expenses? So the examples of recurring expenses are your utility bills like electricity, Wi-Fi, your gas bills, etc. Your rent is a recurring expense because it goes every month. Your travel is a recurring expense because you are traveling to office, it's going every month. Maybe your child's education, you're putting it every month, so it becomes a recurring expense. Now, a non recurring expense can be the LIC premium payment that you do once in a year, a health insurance premium that you do once in a year, and it can be a number of things. For example, the AMC that you do, or you have to buy a software which becomes a non-recurring expense. Now, can I divide the non-recurring expenses into recurring expenses? Yes, it is possible. How do you do it? So there are certain non-recurring expenses which that are going to happen after certain number of months. You can divide it into monthly with the help of your RD, recurring deposits. What are these instruments? I will go into the next slide in future slides and I'll let you know what are these instruments called. How do I budget it? So you can budget your expenses using either manually or you can use a budgeting software. How do I do it manually? You can, that if you go back the day old times where our moms and dad used to, write down the expenses, whatever they were doing on a piece of paper in a small diary and everything. Either you can do that, You can have a financial planner with you. You can use an Excel, or you can use the budgeting softwares called such as Dhani, Walnut, Monify, ET Money. Wallet, ET Money, they will typically read your SMS. So if you are using digital payments a lot, the SMS would be read, and these SMS, will go, read through these apps, and these apps will track all your expenses. In these apps also, you can put your expenses manually. Okay. Any questions still here, or should we go ahead and understand about the investment options that are available? Yes, Ritik.
We don't have any question as of now, but like the teachers, they're loving the session, and I would request everyone if they have any question, feel free to post it in the chat box. Ma'am, we can proceed.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Ritika. So now I don't want to give a lot of, things today, because today we are keeping this session very, small. So let's understand what are the investment options that are available in India, which you can start with just 100 rupees or 500 rupees. And the biggest worry that we have regarding investment options is, how do I start with? Typically, there are many instruments where you can actually start investing through 100 rupees, and let's go through with these investment options that are available. One of the common investment option that everybody loves to do it is the recurring deposit and fixed deposit. Now, what is a recurring deposit and a fixed deposit? So, a fixed deposit is a basic deposit that you do with a bank, which is for a fixed tenure, for a fixed number of years, with a fixed interest rate, and you put a lump sum amount. So, typically, you put a one time amount into it. And then, after, let's say, you have put it for a year, after 1 year, you get that amount back. That is called a fixed deposit. Now there's something called recurring deposit. Now recurring deposit and a fixed deposit, the only difference is here you are doing it in the like an EMI. So you're putting a monthly amount every month into a recurring deposit. What is the tenure that you can put in a recurring deposit? The minimum is 6 months. For a fixed deposit, to earn money, you have to put the amount for at least minimum 7 days. Any fixed deposit with below the 7 days will not give you any interest. So you can start with 7 days. The max tenure for a fixed deposit is 10 years. For a recurring deposit is 6 months. The max tenure is 10 years. You can do it online by yourself using your mobile banking app. You can use your online banking. You can do it with post offices. Anywhere, it's very much feasible. Very simple. The fixed deposit can also be used as an emergency fund, because again it's very liquid. At night 12 o'clock also, if you want to close, you can close it. The only thing with the fixed deposit and the recurring deposit is that when you're closing the fixed deposit, or the recurring deposit before the maturity tenure, your interest rate that will be calculated would be calculated as per the tenure that you have kept, minus a penalty of 1% or 0.5%, depending upon the bank rules that are there. Now this 1% or the 0.5% would be deducted on the interest that is calculated, so your principal remains intact. We would have been hearing a lot of things about mutual funds. So let's understand what is mutual fund. In basic terms, I'll tell you, it's a basket of certain, things that are available. So what does the mutual fund contains in its basket? The mutual fund in its basket can contain shares, it can contain bonds, it can contain gold, it can contain cash, and it can contain any money market instrument. Now, what do you mean by share? A company comes into the market and tells that I want some capital infusion, but I want it through public. Now, what do I mean by public? It means us as an individual investor. So when it comes into the market, it says that I will be giving my shares to you. So this is how shares come in. Now, any share that comes into the market, it comes in the form of IPO. So we would be hearing a lot of buzzword called IPO. It is called initial public offering. So this is how the shares come into it. So there's a regulator called SEBI who takes care of these shares. Now, when the shares come into the market, These shares can be bought by individuals, it can be bought by any high net worth investor, it can be bought by institutions. Now, a mutual fund is managed by an institution called Asset Management Company. So, the mutual fund will keep all these things into a kitty or a basket and then will give it to you just like it will, they give you a share. You can invest into it either monthly or you can invest in a lump sum way. So, when you invest monthly or in a systematic way, or in a tenure of weekly or let's say bi-weekly anyway, the word is called systematic investment plan or the SIPs. So when you ever you hear SIPs, it's a mode of investment into mutual funds. So you can start an SIP with just 100 or 500 rupees, and this is a very easy way to make your money for long term. We would be hearing a lot about gold, that gold is one of the good investment options that are available in India. And gold is something which will never lose its value. So let's take one understanding about gold. Gold is one metal which is malleable, which can be melted down and can be reused in making a new design. It does not get affected by most of the acids. So that's why when you wear gold and when you are even working in kitchen or you are washing your hands, the gold value does not go, it does not get tarnished off. And gold has a sentimental value in India. Gold is used for any good occasion, so be it Diwali, be it marriage, be it birth of a child, we typically prefer gold. Now, the problem with gold, physical gold, is that you cannot invest with smaller amounts. So, when you're buying a gold coin, typically you have to buy a 1 gram of gold coin. And with the rates that are going on, let's say if it is 66,000, you have to pay 6,000 rupees per gram, which may not be feasible for certain people. So, there is an instrument called digital gold through which you can invest into gold. I want everybody to open their mobile if you can. And if you're using GPay, go into GPay. There's something called gold locker in the businesses. So if you go into your GPay, there's individual, then there is businesses. When you go into businesses, there's something called gold locker. If you click on gold locker, you'll find that you can start investing into gold with just 100 rupees. Now, this gold is regulated by MMTC PMP, but still, as of now, there is not much regulatories with it. MMTC PMP is a subsidiary of Government of India. In PMP is a Switzerland company, so you can start investing into digital gold. Now, the only drawback of digital gold is that there is GST which is applicable. So you will have, whenever you're buying digital gold, you will have to, you know, pay that GST amount. So you please ensure that when you're investing into gold, you account for that GST amount also. So now there are many shares which are available at 100 rupees. For example, the share of Wellspun, which is at 115 rupees, which you can start investing into. Now, the share market is divided into three. It's called large cap, mid cap, and small cap. What do you mean by large cap? Now, large cap are those companies whose market capital is above 20,000 crore rupees. I want everybody to just check on two or three companies which they can start investing into. For example, if I say ICICI or HDFC, you will find their market capitalization is above 20,000 crores. So they are the large cap companies. Now, the mid cap companies are the companies which are below 20,000 crores. So typically the top 100 companies are the large cap companies. The next are your mid caps till 250, and below 250 is small caps. So this is how the share market is divided into. Now there are other options called post office investment options where you can start investing with 100 rupees. How many of you have heard the word Kisan Vikas Patra? Have you invested yourself into Kisan Vikas Patra or have you heard it from your parents investing into Kisan Vikas Patra? If you have, you will understand Kisan Vikas Patra was an instrument during 1980s, where the money used to get doubled in 5 to 7 years. Now, though, because the rate of interest have gone down, it's it has gone into the stage of where the investments are, you can start, the money gets doubled in 11 years. But these are a good instruments because these instruments are governed by sovereign, they have a sovereign backing. So when I say sovereign backing, basically they are governed by the government, and the government decides the rate of interest for all these. So there is something called NAC, National Savings Certificate, in which you can invest into through the post offices. There are post offices, RD, and fixed deposit where you can invest with 100 rupees. Now comes the PPF. PPF is called Public Provident Fund. Now, what is the best thing about PPF? Let's understand. So, those people who are into the old regime of taxation, you would know there is a section called 80C. Now, this section 80C states that you can save 1,50,000 every year, and that 1,50,000 you can get it removed from your total income, which is available as a deduction. So PPF is one of the instrument which is available as the section ETC saving instrument. Now in PPF, the interest rate is decided by the government, and typically the PPF interest rate would be greater than the inflation always. Now, the benefit of a PPF is that the PPF allows you to invest 1,50,000 every year. You take claim a deduction on that. Whatever interest is accrued into it, there is no taxation on it. And when it gets matured, again there is no taxation on it. So whatever instruments that I have told before, like recurring deposit, fixed deposit, SIP, digital gold, shares, all these instruments, there was a taxation that was applicable when you were taking the profits or on the date of maturity. So PPF is one of the instruments where there will not be any taxation applicable. So beautiful instrument, right? So this is the reason why PPF is termed as a very good instrument for long-term investment. Now, when you invest into PPF, the maturity period is 15 years. So please ensure whenever you're investing into PPF, know that it is not liquid as compared to a fixed deposit or a digital gold or a share or a mutual fund. So when you have to withdraw only after 15 years. In between, yes, partial withdrawal is available, but that partial withdrawal only allows you to, take out the money for from the PPF only after 5 years of the investment into PPF. Any questions here, or you would love me to continue? I can see Lex Explore says that she has invested into Kisan Vikas Patra. Yes, Ritika.
Even I have seen my mom investing in Kisan Vikas Patra. Ms. Pallavi, I just wanted to know, so which option, like how will we come to know that for me, digital gold is, going to be a better option or PPF is a better option? So how should I, like determine that this option is going to be the most suitable one for me?
So, Ritika, when you have to invest into any of the options, please remember there's something called goal planning. Now, when I say goal planning, it means there are certain goals which are short term, there are certain goals which are medium term, and certain goals which are long term. So when you're investing into PPF, you cannot see a short term goal into it. So let's say you are investing for a vacation. Now, a vacation plan cannot be invested into PPF. Reason being, the PPF has a maturity period of 15 years. 15 years is a very long term. So, a PPF investment can be for your child's education. A PPF investment can be for your, retirement. A PPF investment can be also, let's say, if you have just started your job, you're at the age of 20 and you feel that you want to buy a house after 15, 20 years, then PPF is very much suitable for you. When it comes to recurring deposit and fixed deposit, because the tenure is different, you can choose the tenure. You can choose between 6 months to, you can choose it to 10 years. If you're choosing a short term tenure, we always term it as emergency fund or a short term goal like vacation, or any goal which requires disinvestment at any point of time. So typically, if you're investing into a RD or a fixed deposit, it's kind of investment which you also don't know when do you need it. Okay. There was a time where people had started disinvesting from fixed deposit during 2020 2019, because the fixed deposit rates had gone pretty low. Again, fixed deposit and recurring deposits rates have come up. So now, with the scenario of fixed deposit and recurring deposit rates coming up equal to the bond market, they are a preferred option for even medium term goals. So you can choose. Now, when it comes to SIPs, it is said that the SIPs work great if you keep it for a long term tenure. So you can't time the market. Typically, nobody can time the market. None of the experts can time the market. So, what actually you can do with this time? You can time in the market, right? So the word is, you can't time the market, but you can time in the market, and SIPs are a very good way to time in the market. And when I say by timing in the market, it means keeping it for a long term tenure. But SIPs, you can keep it for a 5 year tenure also, it's good. When it comes to digital gold is an alternative investment when it comes to a physical gold, because sentimentally we are much attached to digital gold. Now, a gold value only appreciates, remember, for the fact, in 8 to 10 years. So the doubling power of gold is in 8 to 10 years, because gold is pretty much fluctuating. Compared to the share market, it is not, but yes, it fluctuates. So if you go back to the era of, COVID, the gold was at 30, 40,000. Then suddenly it went to 60,000. Again, it came down to 40,000. Again, it has risen back to the same value. So the thing with gold is that we do not invest into gold every month. Like in an SIP or a recurring deposit, we invest every month, right? In a gold, we tend to put lump sum. So now the thing is, when we put it into lump sum, our mindset that we have is we put it during certain occasions. So we do not go and buy gold, like, okay, I've got money right now, I want to invest, I'll put it into gold. It's not their thought process. We either go during Diwali, or somebody's marriage is coming up, or we have to give it as, as a special occasion like anniversary or birthday. And the gold prices again vary at that point of time. So maybe you are buying the gold at the highest peak at that day itself. So if you want to average the return of gold, it is 8 to 10 years. So it's again a long term thing. When it comes to post office investment, NSCs are for 5 years, Kisan Vikas Patra is for 11 years. And like I said, PPF is for 15 years. So
Great.
now,
Thank you so much, Miss Pallavi. We have a question here. Is there any
yes.
risk also if we invest in digital gold rather actual gold? Means like what is the difference and which one should we go for?
Yes. So now this is the topic that which I was coming in. How digital gold is different from a physical gold. Now the physical gold is something which everybody loves. Now, the risk involved with the physical gold is theft. Okay, so we typically cannot keep it at our home, so we will keep it into bank lockers. Now, again, the bank lockers, there is a limit to it. So it says 50x times of the rent that you're paying for the locker is only insured. So the gold that you put into locker is also not, insured as such for you. So what you can do, if you're keeping gold at your home, you can take a theft insurance, and you declare a value of gold, that this is the gold that I've kept in home. So that is one risk that is there. Again, the problem with physical gold is that every time you are switching into cities, you will have to carry that physical gold. Now, when it comes to digital gold, the issue with digital gold is that GST is applicable, and as of now, there is no regulatory regulating the digital gold market, and digital golds are not available in any of the banking systems. So so in the banking system, since it is not available, it is not attached to your accounts. So you will find digital gold in most of your wallets like GPay, Paytm. There are other, places like Grow. Then there are investment apps where digital gold is available. Since the regulatory is not available, so when I say regulatory, it means like for insurance, there is a regulatory called IRDA. Then for share market or mutual funds, there is a regulatory called SEBI. For banking, there's a regulatory called RBI. For digital gold, there is no regulatory. So digital gold is monitored by MMTC which is a government subsidiary. But again, there is nobody who's regulating it. That is the only risk that is there. And when you're investing into digital gold, please understand that this risk will be involved till the time there is no regulatory coming into it. So apart from that, digital gold is a can be thought of as a option of investing. Now there's a third option that is available. You can buy digital gold in the form of bond form, which is called sovereign gold bond. Here you have to invest for minimum 1 gram. So that is applicable over there. So when you're investing into a gram, it's like 6,000 rupees that you have to spend. And again, the gold bond that is, made available to you, the lock-in period is 8 years. So when I say digital gold versus gold bond versus physical gold, I would rate the gold bond first, then I would rate a physical gold, then I would rate a digital gold. But again, it depends upon your goal, and again, it depends upon whether you want to keep that, gold as such for that much longer tenure. One of the benefits of physical gold is in any of the emergencies, you can actually go and give it to the bank and say that, can you give me a loan on this physical gold? And can you, give me that amount for my personal use? So bank will never ask you what are you going to use for it. So a physical gold is very attractive way to invest, just because it has got multiple benefits. Like I said, gold value will never go. All the economies work on gold. So if you hear, you know come any country coming in, the word would be, what is the gold reserve of that country? And having that gold reserve gives you the insight itself that gold is valued by every country across the world. Now with physical gold, the charm of physical gold is always there with ladies. So yes, you can think of investing into physical gold. And if you have not started your investment but you have got gold in at your home, take a pause, take a deep breath, and say, yes, I've got one investment with me, which is working out great for me, which is there in my emergency also, which is appreciating with the rate of inflation. And in case I want to disinvest from gold, I know I will get the gold value, whatever would be the ongoing market scenario. Whenever the share markets go down, you will find the gold prices go up. So it's inversely proportional. So if you are a person who invests into share market, always hedge yourself with gold. So we tell a lot of people to do that. Okay. So
I think that
already,
answers Ms. Sushma's query. Thank you so much, Ms. Pallavi. I'll be there at the backstage.
yes, please. And I think we have already covered the financial goal planning, but let's again discuss on what is goal planning, why is it important, how do you invest according to your goals. Though we did speak on, financial goal planning right now, but let's understand what is goal planning. So every goal is different. Every person's goal is different. My goal can be, I need to invest for my daughter's education. I need to put money for my retirement. I need to, buy a house. I may need to buy a car. Maybe for you, it won't be the same. It would be, you do not want to buy a house, you do not want to buy a car, but you want to invest for your retirement and you want to invest for your child's education. The importance of goal planning helps you to keep your investments intact. Till the time I don't assign a goal to my investments, the problem that happens is that you disinvest pretty quickly. We are very indisciplined when it comes to investment, and that is one of the biggest mistake that we do, that we tend to withdraw money very quickly from any investment just because we are not that patient. So if we attach certain goals to our investments, and also whenever we are investing into any of the products, if we have a financial goal planning done before itself, We will be choosing our goals or finances as per the right amount, right tenure, and with the right thought process. So how do you start your investment? According to the goals. So when it comes to the goal planning of retirement, it is always said that you put it into instruments which are going to work out for long term. So you will not put it into short term investments. So typically when you are investing for your retirement, choose something called pension schemes which are available in India, certain LICs or the money back policies which you want to. You can put it into PPF, because PPF again is a very long term investment. You, after 15 years, you can extend your PPF for 5 more years and again 5 more years. So you are keeping your money locked in. When it comes to short term goals, or any emergency fund, please invest your amount into certain instruments which you can withdraw at any point of time. So you need not wait for closure of that amount to come in after 2 or 3 days. So your investment should be for any liquid plans. So there are many liquid plans which are available in India. Apart from that, fixed deposit and RDs are typically very good for short term goal planning. Now, there are certain instruments which work out great within, for 5 years, or, for a tenure of 6 years. Mutual funds work out great for in different ways. So the mutual funds are divided into three categories. One is called equity mutual fund. There's something called bond mutual fund or debt mutual funds. And the third one is hybrid mutual fund. Now, the equity mutual funds are always said to be in good investment for long term. Bond or the debt mutual funds can be put in for short term to medium term. And when it comes to hybrid is something which you can take for medium term to long term also. I'll give you a very nice rule. And this rule, whenever you are starting your investments, will help you out whenever you're doing your goal planning. The goal which you know the day that you need that money, you will put it into guaranteed returns. The goal which you can actually invest into and you can actually delay it, you can put it into equities. Okay. Again, I'll repeat that the goal that you invest into and you know the day you need to withdraw that money, that you will invest into guaranteed returns. For example, after a year, I need that money for my LIC payment. I need that money on 1st of April itself. I know the date of that investment, that I want that amount to come into me. So what will I do? I will invest into one of the instruments which is going to give me a guaranteed return. So what do I mean by guaranteed return? Any instrument which is giving you a fixed rate of interest. So it can be your fixed deposit, it can be your NSC, it can be your Kisan Vikas Patra, it can be your recurring deposit, etc. Okay. So the day you know that this day is the only day when I require the money, then you will put into guaranteed returns. Okay. Now, let's say, for example, I want to build a house in 5 years, but I can delay my house for 6 or 7 months also. Then I can invest into equities. Okay. So if you remember this, logic every time you're doing the goal planning, you will be able to choose your goals very wisely. Okay. Now, why is diversification very, very important? There is, when we were kids, there was a very nice story which, our teachers used to tell, that there was a kid who was going on a path and he was carrying his basket and all the eggs were in the same basket. Suddenly he fell down, and since the basket went off from his hand, all the eggs broke because he had kept all the eggs in the same basket. So that's the reason we don't put our investments into same single investment option. We diversify. So that is the purpose of diversification. How to diversify? There's a very nice rule which says if your age is 70, you minus it by 100. If your age is 30, you minus it by 100. That is the maximum amount that you can put into equities. So let's say your age is 30, to 70% of your investment can go to equities. When I say 70%, I mean the maximum amount that you can put into is into equities. That does not mean that you have to put everything into equities. You can actually bring down your portfolio to 50% also. Okay. Why to diversify? I think that X story itself, helped us to understand why diversification is required. Now let's take this scenario of COVID times. If I'd invested 100 rupees into market, and since the COVID times the market came into half and I needed the money at during the COVID time, the amount that I'd invested into COVID during the COVID time would have been 50 rupees, because I had invested 100 rupees, but in COVID times the amount came down to 50 rupees. So now, if I had diversified, let's say I had put 50 rupees into equities or share market, and 50 rupees I had put into some guaranteed return. So 50 rupees would have come to the half of 25 rupees, and the rest 50 would have come to with, because it was a guaranteed return, I would have made 55 rupees, or 60 rupees. Let's take, I don't even make a lot of money. I make 55 rupees only. So now, how much is the amount that I'm getting? I'm getting 25 plus 55. So that is 80 rupees, right? Whereas if I had invested all my 100 rupees into share market, I would have got only 50 rupees. So I was able to minimize my risk. I was able to minimize my losses by diversification. So I hope diversification you will remember whenever you're doing your investments. Okay. This is the end. Okay. I did not go into investments a lot. We will catch up on different types of investment in later on sessions. Before I end this, session today, I would love you to do one activity. Okay. I would ask you to bring out your wallets. I know you can't do it right now. If you have got your wallet, in your hand right now, please do it. If you do not have it, please do it after the session. Take your wallet, close your eyes, take one note out of your wallet. It can be anything. It can be 10, 20, 550, 100, 500 rupees, 2000 rupees. Most of us don't keep 2000 rupees because many of us are really afraid that 2000 can get banned. But if you have got 2000 rupees, okay, possible. Whatever amount that comes into your hand, choose a day as per your requirement. Either you can do it weekly or you can do it daily. So let's say you want to save that amount daily. Let's say you've got 10 rupees. What you do, you start putting that 10 rupees into a money jar every day. And then after a month, come back and tell me what is the amount that you have saved. Okay, now if you do not love to do it, using the cash thing, you can actually create pots. So there are many options available on your mobile banking where it is called pots, so you can actually transfer that amount every day into a separate kind of instrument. So I have got an account with Jupiter where it says that every Wednesday I can put 500 rupees from my account into a pot. That every Wednesday there is a cycle that goes on. So it is available in most of your mobile banking apps. You can do it by yourself. That every day or every week this amount should go into your investment options. Okay. So I hope today's session was short, sweet, and good enough for you. If you still have questions, let me know. If you feel that there was something which I was not able to explain it to you, please drop in your questions in the chat, or you can go on to my Instagram. I'm available on my Instagram with Finance with Pallavi. You can text me over there. I would be happy to respond to you. Yes, Ritika.
Thank you so much, Miss Pallavi. I do have a question though.
Yes.
So, how would I come to know what are the new methods of investment? Because times are changing, we have so many things coming up. So, how do I keep myself updated? I know your channel is always there, but then the other means to keep myself updated about the new government schemes which are coming up, or new SIPs, or like methods of putting my money into mutual funds.
So I do take courses for that, but I am not going to tell people a lot about this right now. But yes, there is an a platform called Investopedia. So anybody can go and check it on Investopedia. You can download 2 or 3 apps which are readily, freely available. For example, Flip It Money. Flip It Money is a free app. You can choose Flip It Money. There's an app called there are blogs from Grow. There are blogs from ET Money which you can follow and read on it. But I always prefer Investopedia because Investopedia gives insight on not only about basics of investment but also on good number of instruments that are available all across. Rest, I think,
Thank
again,
you.
if you still have a doubt and if you feel you want to learn, Pallavi is always available.
For sure. And I think teachers are loving it. We have received amazing comments from the educators because we educators, we always have this understanding that, okay, this app is really good for the students. This is really nice for my school or for my class. But when we talk about the financial learning, I have received this feedback from a lot of my friends that we need to have sessions like this on financial or investment or how, what are the best possible methods how we can invest. And I think now we are also talking about financial literacy in schools also. So we are
Yes.
talking about this with the students. So this brings to my another question. Next question is that how do we ensure that the students they start developing the financial skills right from, and what is the correct age to do that?
See, the awareness of finances comes by the age of 5. Okay. When I say awareness of finances, it does not mean the value of money, but the concept of money they understand. They see their parents, spending money, and they know that anything that they need to buy, money is involved. Now, there's something called reward and compensation or incentivization. We can start it at the age of 6 or 7 by giving them, certain uh, tasks which are required. But again, there are certain tasks which are regular tasks and there are incentivized tasks. So, if you ask your child to pick up the towel and then you say that, you took a bath and now you're supposed to put it back to its place, it should not be incentivized. It's a regular duty that they are supposed to perform. But if you are giving them a task which is beyond their expertise, the regular things, then you can pay them money. Apart from that, I would love if teachers can start teaching kids on unwise spendings. You will see the biggest mistake that we do, even the any individual that does is they do not know what is unwise spending. Why? Because we were never taught on it. We were never, our parents never allowed us to do it. They were the ones who were taking the decisions in their hands, and they were saying, okay, it's completely okay, I'm there as a fallback mechanism. I think that is one of the reason we still don't know whether we are doing right or wrong with our finances or not. And if we teach our kids to, do it at this age itself of 8 and 9 to, till the age of 15, they would learn it much better than us. So, as an educator, please start teaching kids on unwise spendings. Let them experiment it. Let them learn from their experiences. This is what we do when we teach skating to kids. We let them fall, right? We don't say that you should not fall. We tell, okay, it's okay to fall. Now you just need to get up. Now you need to learn your balance, right? So this is again about balancing your money. So let them fall, and
I think
parents
that's
also
so
should.
true.
Yeah.
Yes, because as parents or as educators, we don't realize that kids are imbibing all these skills from us only. So we need to
Yes.
be very sure that we need to be, we are like making the children feel the importance of money and why they should not spend it like that, and they should be wise spending the money. We have another question from Ms. Tejal. How do we find which one is a fraud company?
So there is, if you go on to the MCA website, they constantly give out fraud company names. Again, there is Crystal. Crystal also gives out fraud company names. You can actually look into bank's website also where fraud companies are always, their names are made available. But again, you'll have to watch them. If you want to see a company's financials, the best way is to go into Screener. If you know a company's name, just go onto screener, you will be able to see the financials of a company, and you will be able to understand whether this company is doing well or not. I think this is the only way anybody can do that.
Great. All right. I don't see any more questions here. Thank you so much, Miss Pallavi. That was great for a person like me also. Like I have always wondered how to manage my finances and to understand how this all system works. I was completely layman to SIPs to mutual funds, but I think today's session gave us a lot of insight on how this all works. What are our financial goals and how should we start investing our money? So thank you so much once again. Thank you for joining us on Learning Jar. And I would request our audience if they have any further question, they can write back to us or they can follow Ms. Pallavi Gandhi at Finance with Pallavi as well. So thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye, Ritika.
Bye bye.